guys. It's your radio host, Lady P. I don't know why Cousin Howard trying to talk over me. This is the new relationship show. We talk about male and female issues, and we talk about these relationship issues from a male and female standpoint. But this portion of the show is the battle of the sexes. So right now we are going for who's going to win the entire month of January, because right now our teams are tied. So, we have both contestants. We've got Ben for Team Blue, Nan for Team Pink. So I think we're ready to go. So, let's get started. All right. Cousin, did you want to ask your Team Pink questions?
Sure, why not?
Oh, Jesus. Why is there a delay?
You ready, Nan?
Ready as I'm going to be.
In electrical terms, what does LED stands for? A.
Wait, I'm hearing some noise. I hear noise behind you.
I don't have no noise.
You're hearing feedback?
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
You want me to repeat the question?
Yes, and it's quiet now so I can hear everything.
In electrical terms, what does the acronym LED stands for? A. Laser erasing this. B. Laser equipped this. C. Light emitting diodes. Or D. Lightning electrical discharge.
Would you like your 10 seconds?
And you said the first two had laser in them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
C is, what was C and D?
C was light emitting diodes, and D was lightning electrical discharge.
Lightning?
Yeah.
Okay.
Electrical discharge.
In my 10 seconds.
Yes, okay.
Let me see your hands.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I'm going to go with light. I think it was C. It's not light. It is not lightning. It's light. So whatever.
So that would be light emitting diode, or if I'm saying the word right.
Yeah.
Diode.
Diode, okay.
Diode.
So is
Light
that your
emitting.
is that your final answer?
10,
Oops.
Final
9,
answer.
Sorry, the countdown started again. Well, that answer is correct, even though Cousin Howard didn't want to tell you that. Let me just, I had
Well,
to
I'm
turn
waiting
that.
for you to hit your button.
Like that?
That was kind of long there.
Well, I just wanted to make sure Cousin Howard heard. And listen, before we go on to our second question, I got a text from one of our listeners to say that that picture behind me is crooked, and it really isn't, because I look, it's straight, but I have...
It is.
It's not crooked.
It is crooked.
It's not crooked.
It is.
I have the camera is on an angle. It's straight.
The camera, so how come it don't show you crooked?
It's on an angle. See? Now you see this? It's straight, right? It's just how I have the camera set up. But my picture behind me is straight. I hung it up and it's even. I put the thing, and you see what it says? A lady always gives good advice. But I put the thing, the leveler on top of it, so it's straight. So I'm just sharing that. But go ahead with question 2, please. Come along, cousin.
You see how it, oh man. Anyway, question 2. What does a tachometer measure?
Is that how you say the word?
A? Yeah. How do you say it?
I don't know. I'm asking. I don't know how to say the word. Come, cousin,
The O
please.
is not sound.
Oh my Jesus.
A. Rotation speed. B. Tacos eating.
Oh.
C. Earthquake. Or D. Wind speed.
Did you hear everything? Would you like your 10 seconds?
10 seconds.
Okay.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And your answer?
Wind speed.
Is that
Final
your
answer?
Cousin, let me ask the
Final
girl.
answer.
Jesus. Oh, you said.
Final answer. You tell me I took long just now. I asked her, no, you.
Did you hear that?
Do you think?
Do I need to do it louder? Wait, let me, so you can hear. Unfortunately, that
It's
was
rotation speed.
incorrect.
It is what?
Rotation speed.
Okay.
So, third
Hey.
question, cousin, please.
Third question. What sports would I be participating in if I were in a rock and mall? You got it?
We can hear you.
Yeah.
Answer. A. Soccer. B. Baseball. C. Rugby union. Or D. Cricket.
Now, would you like your 10 seconds? Would you like to use your
No,
lifeline?
give me a lifeline.
Okay. So, it's a good...
I don't even
Lifeline.
know what did
It
you
was-
wait. What did you say the question was? It's
What?
What sport would I be playing if I was in a rock and mall?
Okay.
Yeah. So, the answer is rugby union. What exactly that is, I believe no one would know that but Cousin Howard. I'm just saying. I'm
Right.
just saying. But,
What's a rugby union?
pardon me?
You know, rugby is something like football that they play.
You see
here
what
in
I'm
the
saying? I
US.
told you Cousin would know.
Right.
Because don't nobody else know that
Rugby
but
Right.
you.
is soccer, but you said rugby union.
Wait,
That's what
rugby
it's
is
called.
soccer? That's what they
Rugby-
call it over
rugby
in the
is
UK?
football.
I thought they called it football. I didn't think they called it rugby.
No, because you're not listening. Rugby
Oh,
is
I know.
football
He
here
didn't
in the
say-
US. American football, not
Right.
soccer.
Oh,
We
okay.
call soccer football in,
Right.
in the Caribbean.
Okay, so
But-
rugby is what we call football over here. It's called rugby over there in the
Yes.
UK. Okay, well,
Yes.
we
How
learned
do you
something
play
new
rugby
today.
union?
Rugby is football.
So why
It's
they
like a tackle.
so they say union? Oh, because it's a ruck and mall. Okay, okay. Well, thank you for that educational tip. With the lifeline, that is 2 correct for Team Pink. So Ben, what this means is that you need to get all 3 correct in order to win tonight and win the month and get bragging rights for Team Blue for all the stuff y'all be talking. So
Quit
anyway,
trying to make the man all nervous and ask him the question.
really, and you come out here telling that she gonna lose every time. Boy, don't play with me. Anyway, Ben, your first question is this: tuxedo fold, bishop's mitre, and peacock's tail are all what? Your options are these: A, ways of folding table napkins; B, cocktails; or C, famous works of art. Would you like your 10 seconds or would you like a lifeline?
No, repeat the question again.
Tuxedo fold, bishop's
That's it. Okay.
bishop's mitre, and peacock's tail are all what? Do you need your options again?
Yes.
Okay, option A, ways of folding table napkins. Option B, cocktails. Option C, famous works of art. Would you like your 10 seconds?
No. That's A.
It's A. Is that your final answer?
That's the napkins. Napkins full? Yeah.
That's your final answer?
Yay!
That answer is correct. Man, I hope I don't have to wear blue this week. Jesus, be a fence all around me every day. Okay, so your second question is this, Ben. What was the first country in the world to give women the vote? I can say it in any order I want. Any order I want. Remember that time you did it to me? Mm-hmm. So, what was the first country in the world to give women the vote? Your options are A, Spain, B, United States, C, New Zealand. Why you look like you typing on something? Put your hands up. Okay, so would you like your 10 seconds? You want it? Would you like your 10 seconds?
No.
No.
Oh, come on.
I think you said New Zealand.
New Zealand is C,
Like C?
United States is B, and Spain is A.
C, New Zealand.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Yay!
Okay.
You sweating?
Okay, let me
You
give
sweating, girl?
Let me give you a third question. Jesus, be a fence all around me. I don't have no blue in my wardrobe. Okay, so your third question is this. What is a traditional gift for a 60th wedding anniversary? A, diamonds, B, gold, C, sapphires.
I'm going to use my lifeline.
I knew you were. Dang it. You know, you guys are very unsportsmanlike. I'm just sharing that with you.
How is that so?
Because you start with all the foolishness before we even got into the questions. Lifeline, could you give him the answer, please?
The answer is A, diamonds.
Okay.
Why does... Oh.
I expect to see you all in blue when we come back.
Oh, you want us to wear blue the
Capiche?
next... Now, granted, we will not be back next Sunday because that is Super Bowl Sunday. I have to see because I really, blue doesn't really do anything for me, so I really don't have
I don't care.
blue in my
I
wardrobe.
do not care.
Oh, so you don't
I
care what I
do
look like.
not-
You want me to be looking all crazy. Anyway.
If you have to.
Jesus.
Make it look cute.
I had to see
You
if I
too,
could-
man.
He said you got to wear it too.
You
See?
got to come with something blue.
Oh, Jesus. Well, see, that's
I
in two.
agree.
That's in
I
2 weeks.
agree.
Oh, so then you mean when we win, you guys have to come with pink the next show? I'm just asking.
No problem.
Both of
No
you.
problem.
Exactly.
Oh, because
I
you
got a
think you
pink
ain't going
shirt.
to lose. Oh, you got a pink shirt?
I
Okay.
got a pink shirt.
Okay, well, like I said, I'm going to try my best to remember because
No. You don't try.
I'm going to
There's no
try to
Just
remember.
remind me to wear my blue shirt.
I'll try to remember because, we're not going to be back next week because of the Super Bowl. So I'm going to attempt
I'm
to...
going to post a video in the morning.
I'm sure Cousin Howard will remind us.
Yes,
I will
he will.
post a video in the morning.
Oh, my Jesus. Okay, well, anyway, congratulations, fellas. We're starting off 2021 with a win. We are so proud of you. We had to help you win in December last year so you could get a win for 2020.
Really?
So we're really
Really?
happy for you that you're starting off
Then you hear
2021
this crap?
with a win. And I'm congratulating you. Let me give you a few yays.
Really? That's what you call congratulating?
I'm sorry.
I want some blue balloons.
Well, anyway, and either way, good job. You guys did great. Thank you very
All
much.
right.
And we're going to see you in a
Thank
couple
you.
weeks. All right. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye. Hey,
All right, now.
Naomi. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good. I'm loving your hair. It's so
Thank you.
good. I love it.
Thank
I
you.
love that picture.
Huh?
I'm not one to share emotions in social media.
Wait, what happened? What happened,
But the
cousin?
picture looked good.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's. I can definitely say it's a big step for me. I've been doing wig or weave for 30 years, so.
Okay. Well,
So
I've
this is
Stay
huge.
natural, baby.
I've
You
done
look
the
better. You look
I've done
better
the
on
I
you.
threw my 2 wigs away today. I have my hard time one that I'm
okay.
gonna keep.
Just in
I have
case.
that
Nah,
one.
well, you don't need that. You don't
Okay.
need
But I
that.
threw 2 away. I sure did that,
You
and that was
did?
big because of how. I don't know if you know, but for a woman, that was huge.
Wow.
I
That's
know.
huge.
Trust me, I know. I've been
I,
married for 20 years, so I know.
I just
Been married
ordered.
for 20 years.
Was married for 20 years. I'm divorced for 10.
Dang, you old? That's 30. How old are you?
Huh?
He way older than me.
Really, cuz?
She asked
Really?
you how old you were. You are older than me. Aren't you like 4 or 5 or 6 years older than me? Or is it 3? I don't remember. He's a
I'm
few years
55.
older than me. Oh, so 4.
Well, you just got married out of the coop. That's all. As they say, you got
Right.
married out of the coop.
Something. But yeah, no, I've done the big chop like 3 times. The last time I did it was, I want to say 4 years ago. So right now my back, is long and my top is, but then like the sides. So for me to, and I can't because I need the length on the sides. So every time I take it, I look and I'm like, nah, it's not time yet. So.
Well, my husband always wanted me to go natural, and I can't believe
Oh, wow.
that I'm going natural now. Always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks good on you, baby.
Yeah,
Trust
it
me.
looks really good. I'm like, ooh, and you got all the curls and stuff. See, and then I have this thing where I have 99% shrivel. So it'll be down to here. I don't know if you can see, down to here, and it'll shrivel up to here. I mean, seriously.
What it is? This is shriveled. This is
Yes,
shriveled.
I
but
can
it's,
tell that yours is really long for it to shrivel to there.
yeah, it's shriveled. So tomorrow I'm actually going to my hairstylist, and instead of styling my wig, she will flat iron my hair.
Oh, okay.
You should
Okay.
leave your hair like that, man.
I am. I'm just gonna do it for a day or 2.
Okay.
Oh,
This
okay.
is the
Is
style.
that hard
This-
to manage? Are you doing like a
No.
a wet what is it called? A twist out, a wet
Yeah.
set?
So what I did was I learned how to twist. So
Okay.
I twisted, and then I untwisted it
Okay.
and treated it, and that was it.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
It
And I
looks
did
great.
that yesterday, and it still held up good for today.
Okay. Because
So, yeah.
both of my
Looks good,
sisters
dog.
wear
Thank you.
theirs, and they have like the beautiful curl pattern. And then they tried to do mine, and mine shriveled up like this, and it wasn't cute. They said it was cute, but I think they just said it because they related to me, and they was looking like.
That's what I thought at first.
Really?
And then I put the post on Facebook, and y'all, thank y'all so much. Y'all
Yeah,
were so
it
generous
looks
with the
great.
comments. I was like, okay, well, I can do this. So I had a talk the next day, and my first instinct was to put because it was to a set of business owners. My first instinct was to grab my wig and put it on. And I was like, nope, not gonna do it. And when I made it through that talk, I was like, okay, you're good. So.
Awesome. Okay, well, I think we need to get into this topic so we have a chance to get to the letter. So, the topic is this. When do you think it's the right time for people to meet each other's parents or families? Cousin, we're going to have you go first as the lone male.
When you're sure the relationship is going somewhere good. You don't rush to meet parents and family, especially kids, if you're not sure where the relationship is going. Because then if you hurry up and, I want you to meet my mom and my dad, or I want you to meet my son and my daughter, and the guy isn't sure where the relationship is going, he's going to run the other direction. And it works the same for females. If they're not ready, if they're not sure, they will run the opposite direction. Because, like, man, I don't want to hurt his feelings or her feelings, so I just won't show up, and I will come up with some BS excuse and hope she don't figure it out, or he doesn't figure it out, which is not fair to your intended for you just not to show up and come up with some excuse, well, the car wouldn't start, or I got a flat, or had a family emergency, or something like that. That's not good. Me personally, I rather you tell me straight up, yo, I don't want to meet nobody right now. Let's figure out where me and you heading before we meet anybody. Because then you go meet the kids and the kids get attached to you, or the parents really check for you. And then you don't come around no more. They're going to be looking at you like, yo, what happened? I thought Mary Jane was the key, or Joe Blow was the key. And, you guys look so happy because, family, some will be cold and cruel and some will lie to you. Tell you, oh, you guys look so happy. I thought this was the real deal. I'm so sorry. And they lying through their teeth. Right? But if you sure where it's going, you don't need confirmation from nobody but yourself and the man upstairs. That's all you need. Right? Because at the end of the day, if your family like or don't like, that's too bad, because it's not their face that person going to be up in. It's yours. And as long as you are happy, I say go for it. But if you are not happy and then you feel obligated because you met his on an accident, you ran into them, conveniently ran into them somewhere, and now you feel like you got to return the favor, that ain't cool either. If he honestly ran into them in an accident, then let it go. So I met them on accident, and yeah, we hit it off, but we still don't know where we at. So I'm not ready for you to meet nobody until we know where we at.
Okay, Naomi.
Right or wrong?
Okay. I must say for this one on the surface it seemed pretty simple and easy, pretty much like Cousin Howard was saying. But and I would have answered it that way probably 5 or 6 years ago. But when I look at relationships and what's going on in relationships now, and I say this because I don't know the slate of people that listen to this show, but when I see what's going on with relationships now and how, just to be honest, people are coming up abused and people are coming up missing, and you don't know who the person is dating. You don't know the kind of person they were with. You have regrets because you didn't warn them. So that makes my answer a little different now in today's world. And so one of the things that I would say is, if you don't care to introduce the person that you're dating until both of you have decided, which would normally be my statement, when you both have decided that you're either exclusive or that you're in a committed relationship, make sure that they know who you're dating. They don't have to do the face to face, but make sure they know something about the person. Just because the times and the circumstances around dating are just so different now. And even people who you thought you knew are the very people that are coming up doing extensive harm to the person that they're with. And the parents don't know about it, and the family don't know about it. So in the past, I would have easily said, yes, wait until you're committed and you know that it's serious. But in today's dating society, I would say if you're dating someone, make sure someone in your family knows who they are. Even if you don't introduce them to them, make sure that they know who you are and who you are dating. And just put up with whatever is comments that you have to deal with, because the other side we've seen in the news, when they don't know, when they are taken by surprise, when they find out who you've been dating after something has happened to you. And so I just have to be for real when I give my comment on that.
Yeah, and actually, Naomi, maybe not even a family member, but one of your friends, somebody that you know, somebody that you're close with, should know something, because, for safety purposes and the type of stuff that we're seeing going on, and I'm not saying it wasn't going on back in, the day when, we were a little younger, but it's so prevalent now. I was actually looking at this, though, from the point of children and, not just necessarily family, siblings, parents, but, your children. Because as a single mother, like you guys know, I've entertained conversations, but none of them conversations met my children because we're just having conversation. So the only person that met my children was the one that ended up being my fiance, and that didn't work out. And because of that, I think I'm a little wary anyway, because I don't want to have so many different folks around my kids. I have a few years till they're a little bit older, grown. So I'm not really trying to rush anything, because of that. Because of that experience. So I think for me, even when it's like, okay, well, we're committed, we're not seeing anyone else, that would probably be, okay, now you can meet my siblings, you can meet my cousin Howard, and stuff like that. But as far as my kids, I don't, it would, I'm not sure when I would really feel comfortable to do that. I mean, I would let them know that I do have children and things like that, but for them to actually meet my children, I don't want it to be an issue. I remember years ago I had a friend who had a child. It was the only child, and every person that she got into a relationship with, brought them around the child, so the child got attached, and then when it didn't work out, they felt rejected. And I said at that point I wouldn't, do that to my kids. And the time I ain't even had kids, so that's how long ago it was. So, now being a single mother, I just, have to be extra careful, because I don't just want anybody who's, and even something that's serious, it may not work out. Hence what happened in my situation. So you just have to kind of be careful, but definitely let someone know, because there's some cray-cray people out there. So if you don't feel comfortable telling, a family member, then you got your BFF, somebody that knows, and, you're going to meet someone first for the first meet and greet. Make sure somebody knows exactly where you are, address, whatever, just in case, because safety first. So
I agree, and I agree with what Naomi said, because there's a lot of crazy people out there that, you got human trafficking, sex trafficking, and all of that. So, but, you got, like you say, you got a good BFF, as you all call it.
What y'all call
you go
it?
For a first date.
What y'all call
I
it?
say my boy.
Oh.
My boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
my
my
road
girl.
dog.
My girl. Okay.
But you have somebody go with you, and you establish some kind of sign or something that if it's not going good, that person does, hey girl, what you doing here, blah, blah, blah. Listen, you know what?
See, we don't do all that. We do the phone call. We go, I have to go to the bathroom, then you say, look, call me in like 2 minutes with an emergency. And, that's how we're a little bit smoother with it, Maybe we've had more time to practice.
Me,
Has that happened to you, cousin? I'm sorry. Did someone do you like that?
No, nobody never did that to me.
You wouldn't tell us if it did.
I wouldn't do that to nobody. If a date is not going good, I'll tell you point blank, look, this is not working out, man. Let's cut our losses right here and now.
You
I've
lied.
always
You said, who you ever said that to? You said that before?
Yeah.
See how he hesitated? He probably said it in his mind.
Cousin Howard, just in my experience, and I'm not saying this is you, I'm not saying it's not, but in my experience, when a man or a person is so easy to quote unquote kick people to the rocks or say, hey, you out of here, they are truly, truly guarding their heart. They have truly, truly. So is that some of what goes on with you, cousin Howard?
I think so.
I protect my heart to the max.
Yeah.
I am not ashamed of it, but I protect mine.
Because you know what? After
You
you've
only
been
gotta
hurt,
get
it's
hurt
hard.
once in life to learn.
Mhm.
You know, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Mhm. And I think that's
Okay.
why it's difficult at our age, all our respective ages, because we've gone through different experiences in our life. So yeah, that guard is like all the way up, and it is what it is, though. I mean, if
Yeah,
we can't go back to being
one of my
20.
road dogs. You know, he drive trucks, and he always tell me, he said, "Brian, you got to break that wall down." I'm like, "Why?" He said, "You got to give up something in order to get something." I mean, as a man, I tried. I tried giving up.
Now,
You know,
don't
and
tell that lie,
everybody's.
because you know what? You so miserable. No, you haven't. From the minute you put your guard up, you ain't gave up nothing. Now, tell the truth and shame the devil.
I gave up. I gave up a hell of a lot over the years. I've been
Really? You
divorced
mellowed out
now
over the years,
going.
you think?
I've been divorced. What? This is my 11th year, and I've ran into countless women, and the starts are good.
Countless.
It always does. Yeah, he said countless. He mean it, too. He ain't lying. He is not lying.
Okay.
And you know, I mean, this is me, man. Me, if I check for you, you gonna know within 5 minutes because I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you what I expect in return. What I expect in return is about that much. And if you can't do that, then bye.
Well, you know what? The thing is, and I can't say it's only men there's a lot of people out there that are very deceptive. And I mean, honestly, if people were more truthful, it would make the whole getting to know people a lot easier. But the issue is people are not, so you have to kind of tread wisely, right? So, I
Yeah.
mean, I can understand his guardedness. I don't really agree with the ready to tell him to kick rocks in one after one whatever, depending on what it is. But again, that's because of the situations he has had in the past, and the past is what molds us, right? So I mean, we can try to say, okay, well, we're gonna try to let the guard down a little bit, but I mean, honestly, it's something you have to really work on. And the minute you see something that's a flag, why waste your time? Time is short. Life is short. I'm just saying. One red flag. I'm not as bad as cousin. I mean, I try to give him at least two red. No, I'm just playing. I'm teasing. But
I tell everybody, you get one shot, make it come.
and he does mean that. I'm not at that point, maybe because I'm not 11 years in, but I'm just saying. So anyway, I I think we've covered that. Let's move on to our letter. So our letter goes like this. Dear Lady P, I'm in a nearly 2-year relationship with a man I love. In so many ways, this is the relationship I've always hoped for, and being in my early 30s, I'm feeling ready to settle down. The problem, he doesn't fight fair. I have put a lot of effort into remaining calm and loving during arguments to prevent our relationship from deteriorating, but he seems incapable of meeting me halfway. His unfair fighting comes in the form of aggressive tones, obscene faces, looking at his phone while I'm talking, and sometimes ignoring me entirely. These arguments are usually over minor issues that are nowhere near warranting a full-blown fight. For example, dishes not being done when he comes home from work because I work from home and put it off to do during non-working hours. Our relationship is otherwise great, but if I'm going to commit to someone for life, I want them to be capable of having calm and healthy conversations He thinks I'm controlling when I ask him not to use aggressive tones or make faces. What do I do? Signed, Fighting Fair. Now, I want to take this first, if I may. Couple things stood out to me in this letter. One thing I do know and I stand by is communication can make or break a relationship. So if every time there's an argument, there's a breakdown in communication, I can't agree with our relationship is otherwise great. And then the point where the letter writer says he thinks I'm controlling when I ask him not to use aggressive tones or make faces. Well, bottom line is he's deflecting and trying to place the blame on you, and that's a narcissist, I'm just saying. So, I mean, honestly, at this point, what I would advise is to attempt couples counseling so that your conversations can be constructive rather than how they have been. If this is something he is not willing to do, I would say you have to really think long and hard, because by the time someone gets into their 30s, their personalities are usually set. So he is who he is. People are who they are, and this is who he is. And if he's not willing to try to do anything, you have to decide then, are you willing to accept this? From your letter, you say, you know, you're not willing to commit to someone for life that cannot have calm, healthy conversations. So I think you've answered the question you're asking us yourself, and maybe, you know, you're looking for confirmation, but that's where I am on that one. So, cousin, your thoughts?
I would tell him to kick rocks.
Of course you would. We just talked about that.
I look at this, and you could see major problems coming down the road if you decide to commit and marry this guy. Because one, you say he doesn't fight fair. It's not going to get any better. It can only get worse from here on in. You know, and if he just ignores you and looks at his phone and start doing everything else and doesn't hear a word you're saying, then to me, he's not in love with you as much as you are in love with him. And that's a major flag right there. Okay? When you're in a relationship, communication is the key, and you got to be able to sit down and talk about any and everything without yelling and screaming and, God forbid, revolting to physical violence against each other. That is a definite no-no. So if he can't sit down and, okay, so you didn't do the dishes, but you were working, what would he have said if you go to your office every day and he happens to get home before you? Whether it's a minute or whether it's an hour, but he gets home before you gets off of work. What he expects you to do? Ignore your job and, let me hurry up and go wash the dishes before he walks in? Nah, you're not nobody's slave. You're not the maid. Y'all are in a relationship. It's 100-100. If you get up from the table and you turn, whether you turn 5 feet or turn right around and get on your computer and start work, it's still a job. You still got to respect the fact that she's going to work. You can't walk in and, hey, you didn't wash the dishes here. This. No, you cannot do that. If you're in a relationship, it's not going to kill him to wash the dishes. Or is he one of the type of guys that grew up where the man didn't do nothing but take out the trash and took care of the car? What about the cooking? This is a new millennium. This is 2021, for crying out loud. When I was married, I'd get home before my ex and I would cook.
You lying. I'm just playing.
That's my girl.
I know
You
you
know
know
that?
how to cook, cousin. I'm just messing with you.
You know, and I believe I don't leave nothing just because there's no such thing as that's a woman's job in the house or that's a man's job. Any one of us can do laundry. Any one of us can jump in the kitchen. Any one of us can clean the house. There's no rules or law that says the cleaning of the house is for the women only. The doing the dishes is for women only. The cooking is for women only. So the only thing for men is to make sure the car stays running.
They got to cut the grass and
Yes.
shovel the snow too. I'm just saying. I'm just.
You know, it's if you live together, everything is 100-100. There's no 50-50 in my world. You give me 100, I give you 100. You give me 80, I give you back 80. Which means we gonna be living in a pigsty if we just cut it down. See? My belief. You know, there's no such thing. We share the load evenly. When I was married, I get up and go to laundry. It's no harm, no foul. I don't care. I look at life, if it's good enough for me to take it off you, it's good enough for me to wash it. No harm, no foul. You know, but some guys, I know a lot of guys that don't think like that. You know, they believe, man, they walk in and they drop their clothes starting from the front door, and they expect their girlfriend, wife, fiance, whatever they want to call her, to come behind them and pick that up. That's not fair. See? What if she goes in the car and eats in the car and left all her junk in the car? You're going to be raising holy hell. 'Cause, man, why couldn't you throw away the trash? Really? Why couldn't you pick up your clothes? It's the same thing. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's how I feel. I think she should tell him, you know what, this ain't working, because it will only get worse. Right now it's him making faces and looking at his phone and being real harsh towards while he answers her. That's disrespectful. That's worse than physical abuse. Okay?
Right. Okay.
Personally,
Oh, sorry.
you know, tell him to kick rocks.
Naomi, your thoughts?
Hey, one of the things that I love and hate about these letters is that we get the letter and we don't get anything else to go with it. We don't, we can't ask questions and we're giving advice. So I have to look at it from so many different lenses. So I'm going to go in and out of different lenses when I answer this. And one of the things is she say, in so many ways, this is a relationship I've always hoped for. I'm ready to settle down. Nothing about we. It's about what you want.
Okay.
You're not saying we're ready to settle down and these are some of the problems that we are having. You're saying this is the relationship you've always wanted and you're ready to settle down. And he doesn't fight fair. So the first thing that I would suggest is that you have a talk with him and say, hey, do you want this relationship to go anywhere? Because it's the relationship you've always wanted. So the first thing, and then how are we going to handle this? What I know from dealing with men, and I, again, got to be honest, men have tempers. They have tempers. Men who love their women the most still have tempers. And a lot of times, to keep from letting that temper come out, they will do things like, in their own way, they think they're helping the situation. And they become passive aggressive. So having that talk, knowing the kind of man that you have, is this something he's always done? Does he do this with everybody, or does he just do this with you? Does he nitpick everybody, or is he just nitpicking you? Because if he nitpicks everyone, then it's like Cousin Howard said, and like Lady P says, this is him. But if he's just nitpicking you, then we need to get to the essence of why. What is under the issues? You work from home every day and dishes are in the sink. I don't know enough to know if they're the dishes from last night or just the dishes that you had while you were having lunch at home. I don't know if you promised to have the dishes done and then decided you do them after work. Because to me, a simple conversation of saying, you know what, can you just understand that I will get the dishes done, and if he sees that the dishes are done right after you finish working or after you finish working non-working hours, then he'll understand why they're still in the sink when he comes home. So communication, back to what we're always saying, communication is so important in a relationship, number one. And number two, you've been in this relationship 2 years.
And you're already living together, so.
2 years and you're living together. 2 years should be awesome years.
Right, because in the beginning, everyone should put their best foot forward. So if he's doing this already, it can only get worse. If this is his best foot, I'm just saying.
Yes, if this is the best foot. So,
that's
and if
what
you
I said, tell him to kick rocks.
And if you can't have that conversation, if you sit down, I mean, and then you, once again, we've talked about this before on other shows, you have to be ready to hear what he says.
True.
If he says, you know what, I thought this was going to work, it's not going to work, I don't know how to tell you, you know, little things are frustrating me. If he says it in a nice way, if he says it in a mean way, you open up that door.
He mean it, yep.
He means it.
And don't be like, oh, he just said that because he was mad. No. He said it because he meant it. So now act accordingly. Because if not, then the consequences are yours.
And if I'm the kind of man that uses aggressive tones, and you say don't use, and I'm not saying that you're not, but are you saying like, you know, don't use aggressive tones? Are you saying, you know what, don't use those aggressive tones with me?
You better watch how you talking to me.
That's how you talk to me. Yeah. How are you saying it?
You talking to that tone? I ain't really on there cheering.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna go over here on my phone, right? So I don't go there with you. I'm just gonna go over here on my phone until you shut up. So you know, just being real about it, because I've talked to, you know, what I found out is with dealing with couples is that if I deal with the woman, I can help correct the woman. If I deal with a man, I can help correct the family. And that's what I've learned in dealing with it. Cousin Howard, you know you about to get in trouble.
I know, that's why I was like, what did he just say? What did you say?
You know you about to get in trouble.
What did you just say?
What did I get in trouble for? What did I do now?
I didn't hear what you said. Could you repeat yourself as you were interrupting me?
I didn't say nothing. What did I say?
I didn't hear you, but I know you said something.
I didn't say. All I'm doing was smiling.
No, you said something.
Yeah, he did. That's why I'm like, you know what, you just... And you know I will go back and listen, and I'm going to hear what you said.
That I was going to get in trouble, so I didn't say it.
Oh, you just thought it, you didn't say it out loud? Is that what you said?
I started to, but then Naomi said, Cousin Howard, you know you're going to get in trouble, so I shut up. I don't want to get in trouble.
Oh, you don't care about getting in trouble. What was it you started to say?
I forgot.
Good. Keep it that way.
But that's it. You know, really open yourself up and being able to handle the answer, because this is a lot of I in here and not we, which means that it leads me to believe that maybe discussion has been an issue for some time, not just after these 2 years.
Yeah.
Because something as simple as the dishes, you know. Okay, babe, you know I do the dishes as soon as I finish work. Then when he comes in, there's, you know, the dishes are in the sink, because you would have a discussion and he would say, okay, yes, you do, but is there any way that you could maybe clear the breakfast dishes? And I know there would be some kind of discussion about it. And if he's closing up, why is he closing up so much? So have that talk, and then like Lady P says, if you decide, because you do have to fight for and within your relationship. And so if you want to fight for your relationship, do like Lady P says, go to a counselor, but you got to be willing to hear what the counselor says just like he do. Because a lot of times when we go to a counselor, we think it's for the partner, and it ends up being for us.
Right. But sometimes the counselors be trying to get on the man's side to make him feel good. And I'm just saying that has happened.
I don't know anything about those kind of counselors.
I'm just saying there's some of them that be doing that.
Oh, then go to a coach.
Huh?
Then go to a coach. Go to a relationship coach then.
Right. Right.
So I'm like, something happened somewhere.
I'm
and
sure.
That's a horse of
I
a
am
different
sure,
color.
cousin, that you are not trying to deflect things towards me, Mr. Kick Rocks. I am so sure that that is not the
What do you
case.
think, Naomi?
I can't say. I can't say, but it was, we gotta stick together, lady people. It was a hint of something in there.
Well,
We gotta stick together, but that was a little hint of something in there.
I'm just saying, I've never, no, I've never gone to counseling like that. The only one I did was premarital, and we know how that turned out. I didn't get married, but, and not from me, but I've heard. But see, the thing is too, when you give, hey, Jamie, how you doing?
I need you because they're killing me.
Oh, my G, he lied.
That's what happened. He was looking and he saw you put your foot in your mouth and he jumped on.
So he said, "Let me come help cousin," because he done put his foot in his mouth because he did.
He said, "I was doing something else, but I gotta stop what I'm doing and jump on and save cousin Howard because
I gotta help a brother out." But
help me here, Jay.
the thing that I was gonna say too is that a lot of times you hear about a story and it's three sides. It's your side, it's the other person's side, and somewhere in between is the actual truth. So, a lot of times when people tell a story and say what happened, it's not that they're trying to be misleading, but usually they try to display themselves in a better light, right? So, I mean, honestly, when I look at he thinks I'm controlling, chances are she just doesn't say, could you please not use aggressive tones or make faces? She didn't say like that. Look, first of all, let me tell you something. What you're not going to do is make them faces when I'm talking to you a bit. So a lot of, and true. A lot of times it is our tone, perhaps our facial expression. I've been trying to work on mine because sometimes my expression be like, I know you
all
playing.
telling.
I know you're
playing.
You're
all telling, lady.
It's always written on my face. So, I could see, maybe trying to be nice and in my mind thinking I'm using my little baby voice and being nice and I'm coming off like, check this out. See, so, I mean, I still stand by you guys need to have a conversation. If that's not working, because the thing about active listening, that's a big thing. And being able to really communicate in a good manner makes a big difference. So, Jamie, we were talking about the letter. That was the portion of the show we had gotten to. So,
Right.
Did you have any thoughts on the letter that you would like to share with us? Cousin seems to think we were picking on him, which is blatantly untrue. But
Really?
Well, I wasn't actually watching the show. I'm late because I was being honored by my church, and so I thought they would be done by now, but I wasn't able to. Yeah, so that's why I'm late. So I apologize.
Congratulations.
well,
Tell us about your honor.
congratulations, Jamie. And what was the honor? What was it for?
It was Martin Luther King scholarship. So right now I'm back in school finishing up my graphic design degree.
Nice.
So,
Okay.
Cool.
So they had a scholarship competition. You had to write an essay and say, basically how your faith and how your faith and your career will help to, bring God's message to others, but also help to combat the racism and divisiveness that's rampant and that's been rampant for the past 40, 50 years. So yeah. So,
So your essay
wrote my
won.
little essay.
Your
Yes,
essay
I
won.
won.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Congrats.
Thank
And I'm
you.
sure you're going to do great with the graphic design because even the things that you did for your show, and I don't know how to do all that. So you're really good with that already anyway.
Well, hey, I'm here. I'm for hire.
Okay,
You need
now.
some help with some stuff.
Okay.
But with the letter, it's interesting because she keeps trying to she keeps pushing this fact that everything else is great, everything else is great, everything else is great, but we walk on eggshells all the time. You know, it's basically kind of what I got from it. It's like I've been in those relationships where it's like you're with someone and it's like if they're feeling good, the relationship is good, like you guys have the best time together, but then any little thing could set them off. Like you don't know what's going to piss them off at that moment. And then when they get pissed off, it becomes a whole different relationship. And I think the problem with that is communication is so important in a relationship that if you're with someone you can't communicate with because either they don't listen to you or you don't feel heard by them. And those are two different things. That's one thing you got to realize, which I don't think from her description, and again, there's two sides, which I heard Lady P talking about earlier. There's two sides to every story, so I don't know what his side of this is. But from what she's describing, things like looking on your phone while someone's talking to you, or things like that, like, I mean, that's stuff that'll get you cut by the wrong woman, you know what I mean? You know, I'm just saying, like, that's completely disrespectful. And I just think anyone who's going to disrespect you and continue to disrespect you in that manner, even after you bring it up and tell them how you feel about it, to me, it's like, okay, let's even say that you're saying communication, or in this instance, isn't even that important. But someone who will disrespect you in the little things, to me, is going to disrespect you in the bigger things when they come up. Because they're not taking what you're saying as important. And this isn't even a little thing. This is like when we disagree, that's big. Because how you deal with arguments as a couple, that's whether you make it or break it. You know what I mean? That, like, if you guys can't argue or disagree, I don't want to say argue because you shouldn't argue. If you guys can't disagree and be in a way to where you can still be cool, you know, if every disagreement leaves one person feeling less than the other, then you're destined to fail. Basically, she is holding the relationship together, so the minute she doesn't feel like doing it anymore or slips up and just says the wrong thing, the relationship's over. Because he's not chipping in his weight. He's not pulling his weight on this one, as far as this goes. From what I'm reading, I don't know what he does outside of the arguments and how their relationship is so great, thus and such. Besides this, but I just mean if this is something that's happening and this is something that's not changing, they're not headed towards a good place.
Yeah. And I totally agree with that, because she said she's put a lot of effort into remaining calm and loving during the arguments, and she follows with to prevent our relationship from deteriorating. But it's still deteriorating.
That's been deteriorating.
And you're wearing yourself out. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, and that's going to drive her into frustration in the end, because then one of these days when he looks down on his phone, you know, like Jamin said, she's just going to cut him. And it might not be a good
come with your violence, cousin. Is she going to kill him too?
Brought it up.
No, but
I actually said that.
I know, I heard you say it. But he was like, yeah, but now that it's said, right? I'm just saying.
No, but I mean,
or the problem is he's gonna look up and she's gonna be gone. She's gonna get fed up, and then he's gonna be like, "Well, you never told me," and she's like, "I've been telling you." It's like, "Well, you didn't tell me that it was this important."
Well,
like,
you know what?
You gotta listen.
One of the things I look at is that when women get to a certain age and all their friends have gotten married and they have kids, I mean, I think now it's getting older and older, but, you know, there's like some pressure, and she's in her early 30s, so she's feeling like she's ready to settle down. But that doesn't mean that that's the one. You understand what I'm saying? But some people, because of the desire to settle down, have a family, will settle for certain things as well. And maybe, you know, after the 2 years and now they're living together, and maybe she's junky and he's not. You know, you don't find out certain things about one another until you're living in the same space. So maybe, you know, that's the situation. Maybe that's why the arguments are, because he don't want to come out and say, you know what, you nasty. So he picks like something that he feels is small to harp on, which is the dishes, you know. But in either way, I honestly feel like a conversation, not when anybody is upset, but to really be able to have a conversation and really communicate about, you know, how do you think we're doing? How do you think the relationship is going? How, you know, just to really have that conversation and for both of them to be able to be honest with one another. And maybe they can't. Maybe that's why it's better to find an impartial person, a counselor, a coach to talk to. And, you know, with coaches, we, you know, do exercises and things for them to work through things. We don't tell them what to do, and I don't believe a counselor would do that either. But with those exercises, if they do them and work through them, maybe they'd be able to see what it is that needs to be fixed. Or decide that maybe, you know, we've run the, you know, it's run its course, and, you know, because honestly, I've heard that usually by 6 months, a man knows if this person is going to be his wife or not. You know, you understand what I'm saying? So now we're at 2 years, you're living together, he's, you know, having, you know, you guys are having these heated arguments, you're trying to stay calm, or maybe in your mind you're trying to stay calm, but you probably got that look like, try me, or try Jesus, don't try me, because, you know, I throw hands. You know, it's hard to say, but...
You talk about me being violent.
I'm not violent. See, the difference, and you should know me, cousin, because you've known me my whole life, but a lot of times my friends that, you know, have been around me since I was younger, I'll be telling them a story and what happened. I say, and I was like, da-da-da-da, and they're like, did you say that out loud or did you think it? Okay, well, I just thought it. But so it's a lot of things that I'm saying now that honestly I wouldn't say in a conversation. I might think it, but I'd like to think that I actually have some form of control over the things that I would say in an actual conversation, because I really try to think before I say something, just because once you say something, you can't unsay it. You know, and a lot of problems for people is that they get upset and they say something that they can't take back. So when I'm upset, I keep to myself till I'm calm. And when I'm calm, then it's like, okay, I write down everything, bullet points, what I want to say to make sure I hit everything that I want to share and I don't miss any point. But I don't do that when I'm upset, because if I'm upset, I will say something that I may or may not regret, but that's probably not nice. So.
But also, I think with this situation, one thing, I mean, I know she's saying everything's great and all, but you got to know what you can and can't live with. You know, as a person, like who you are. And that's one of the things you need to figure out before you get into a relationship. Because this might be something that, you know, is just, if he's not willing to change it, she got to decide, like, is this something that I can live with for the rest of my life? And if not, this probably ain't the dude for you.
Right.
And, you know, not to sound harsh or anything, but, you know, everything that we say we want, that we, like, oh, I want this, and she got to be this, and blah, blah, blah. And then you get all that, and you're like, ooh, this is great, except for...
Right.
And it's
or you get it and you're like, I don't really want that.
Yeah. It's not what you thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
So, if I was her, I mean, I'd look at, if he's not listening, and that's big, like, it says he even ignores her sometimes, ignores her entirely. Like, that's huge to me. So that's something you got to look at, like, dude, you're either going to change this, or I'm going to change my address. Like,
right.
But something going to change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
That's true.
Yeah, I'm in total.
So I think we all agree the communication part is key, and then also, you know, the fact it's so key that if you can't get to the point where you can communicate, because at 2 years you're exhausted. You're exhausted at 2 years, and y'all are not even married yet. y'all have been in a relationship for 2 years, and even if at 30 something, when you hit 50, can you take 20 years of this if it doesn't change? If this
Somebody
is who
gonna
he
come up
is,
missing.
if this is who he is,
Again,
can you
talk
take?
about me?
Can you take that?
And you know what? One of the things that we learn is that it's not about the good times in the relationship that shows whether that relationship is going to last or has longevity. It's how you deal with the not so good times, how you deal with the disagreements. That is going to show you whether this relationship can go long term. Because, what is it? Something about sunny days, but can you stand the rain? I mean, honestly, that is so true because that's what's telling is how you can make it through the difficult times. And I mean, honestly, you're contemplating whether you want to settle down. If this is going on now, how about when it's kids and nobody's sleeping or the kid is sick? You know, those are like stressful times. How about if someone gets laid off? I mean, it's things that's a lot worse than what you're going through now. So if this is what's happening now, you know, sunny days, everybody loves them. That's how I go. But can you stand the rain? I mean, truly. So
That's true. And I mean, I agree with what y'all said. You know, and communication is, we only get her side. We don't know what the sunny days are in the house. You know, maybe the sunny days that he comes home and there's no dishes. He got a 5-course meal waiting for him.
Not if she working and he come home, she's still working. You ain't getting no meal. You better bring takeout when you come home. I'm just saying. We all got to work. And you know what? This is coming from a place of having an ex-husband that said, I work, but you have a job. Because I worked in an office and he worked, he was a driver.
In the field.
Yeah, in the field. You know, so he felt like what he did was more than what I did because it was more physical. And we used to have those discussions all the time. And I'm like, you know what? So, and it was on my face because I was like, I would have been like, first of all, let me tell you something what you because
But I think you hit a key point, Lady P. Y'all had discussions about it.
Yeah.
That's
true.
what's lacking here. They're not having the discussions about it.
Well, I think they did because she said he thinks I'm controlling when I ask him not to use aggressive tones or make faces. But then again, that's in the midst of an argument, so that's not really.
That's not having the discussion. Yeah.
True.
Those are reactions. Those are not discussions. Those are reactions.
True. So, letter writer, what we all agree on is that communication is something that you guys need to work on in your relationship if the relationship is going to continue. And if the communication doesn't get better, then you need to make some decisions on what you're willing to settle for. And, you know.
But she needs to, outside of an argument, tell him exactly what is happening that is upsetting her, exactly what he does, and basically kind of give him the lay of the land. Like, this is what you're doing. This is how I feel when you do it, and I need it to stop. You know, like I need us to work in a different way. Now, once you have that conversation, if he still does the same stuff and still doesn't take you seriously and still, regardless of how you feel or whatever, just continues to disrespect you and continues to ignore you, look at his phone, raise his voice, all that stuff, you might need to go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Might.
But you gotta have that conversation.
Yeah. And
Yes.
And cousin might is because it's what she is willing to deal with and settle with. You know, a lot of people will settle for and deal with things so as not to be alone. Like she said in the beginning of the letter, she's in her early 30s. She's ready to settle down. So, I mean, it's really honestly because you know what you're willing to put up with. You know, bottom line, it's you and what you think is okay for you. And maybe at 30, you feel like you're going to settle for that, which is your decision. Now you might get down the line and say, you know what, I shouldn't have did that. I should have listened to them people on that show. I knew I should have listened. Well, you know, we've all had things that we've done that people have suggested otherwise, and we went our own way, which is as we should, and we deal with consequences because of decisions we make. So, you know, try to work on that communication. You know, try to, if you can't actually have a conversation together calmly, then try to see if he will agree with you to go talk to someone. If he doesn't, then you need to decide if this is something that you're willing to settle for. Being in a relationship like this, bringing kids into a relationship like this, if you settle down and all that, this is your decision. You know, we just want to give you some helpful advice, and you know, from how we're looking at it, because
we're on the outside looking in.
Right. So hopefully,
but I think one thing that we all agree on is to have that conversation before is to have that sit down. You know, and you've heard some different ways of how it can happen, but we're all in agreement that a conversation, a communication needs to happen. You need to know what he thinks about the way that you're feeling, and he needs to know the way that this is impacting you and your relationship.
Right.
And as a discussion, not as a reaction.
Right. So it has to be at a calm time, not after you've just had the whole big blow up about the dishes or, you know, whatever you have blow ups about, but at a time that's calm, maybe after you've had dinner and you're sitting calmly and, you know, talking about how each other's day was, you know, you come up with it there. And I would highly recommend not to say, I have something I need to talk to you about later. Men don't like that, I'm just saying.
Women don't like it either.
Yeah, true.
Nobody
But I'm
likes
saying,
it.
saying to her, because
but
we're
men
we're
definitely
talking
don't
to
like
her.
it. Yeah.
What you got to talk
Don't
to me
tell me
about
you
later?
got
Tell
something
me
to
now.
talk to me
No,
later.
we'll talk
Tell me
about it
now.
later. Yeah.
You talk about it to yourself later. You gotta
You
tell
see
me
how
now
he
to kill it
but we
right
already talked about you and your walls that you have up, cousin. So we already know about that with you. I'm just saying. So anyway, I believe we have really given our perspective. We're really mostly on the same page with this. Does anyone have any final thoughts on it before we close out the show?
Nah, I'm good.
You sure now? Just making sure.
I'm positive.
Okay, Naomi, you good?
I just can't reiterate. If you can't sit down and talk, you know, if you cannot sit down and talk, you will forever be examining your relationship through your eyes only.
Mm-hmm. And Jamie, and it says poor network, but we were able to hear you before. You still there with us?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. We just can't see you. So do you have any?
You can't see me?
No, it says
poor connection.
It says poor network, and we don't see you.
Wow.
We just hear you.
It says this video will resume automatically when the connection improves.
Wow.
Really? Doesn't say that on mine.
Mine says poor network.
Mine
Doesn't
says
say
poor
anything on
network and
mine.
then that. Yeah.
I don't know.
I
don't have any final comments though. I said pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I thank everyone for their comments and thoughts to our letter writer and on our topic. We will not have a show next week as it is Super Bowl Sunday. I guess a new normal of Super Bowls. And so we will return in 2 weeks. Jamie, and you missed it, but Team Blue won. Ben, the clutch, got all 3 of his questions correct. So
Nice.
we congratulate them. We will try to remember next show to wear blue. I'm sure Cousin will remind me to wear blue, you know, to celebrate their win for them, because, you know, it's the first month of the year, and I'm pretty sure it's not going to happen the rest of the year. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing that out there. But in either way, we congratulate Team Blue on their win. And everyone, thank you for your participation. And and we will see you guys in 2 weeks. So guys, have an awesome week. Have an awesome week next week, and we'll be back in 2 weeks, okay?
Okay.
All
And
right.
congratulations again, Jamie,
Yes,
on your
Jamie,
scholarship award.
congratulations.
Yeah, congrats, man. Keep up the good work.
All right, goodbye, everyone.
All right.
All right,
Peace.
cuz, I'll see you.
All right.
Okay.
The smooth road. Grown Folks Radio with Lady P.